"He hit my grandma," the child cried. The bikers parked right outside his door. The late afternoon sun cast long shadows over Maple Street, painting the quiet neighborhood in hues of amber and rust. Leaves crunched under boots as 6-year-old Leo clutched his grandmother's trembling hand, tears streaming down his freckled cheeks. "He hit my grandma," he sobbed, voice cracking with a mixture of fear and fury that no child should ever know. Across the street, a rumble broke the silence. Not thunder, but engines. A pack of motorcycles rolled to a stop outside 42B Elm Lane, the very house where Leo and his grandmother lived. The riders wore leather jackets adorned with patches, Iron Vows MC, and faces weathered by wind and time. To most, they looked like trouble, but today, they'd become something else entirely. It started hours earlier. Leo had been coloring at the kitchen table when the shouting began. His grandmother, Mrs. Eleanor Whitmore, a retired school teacher with silver hair and kind eyes, had tried to reason with her estranged son-in-law, Carl, who'd shown up unannounced demanding money. When she refused, he shoved her, hard. She fell against the counter, her wrist twisting awkwardly. Leo froze, crayon slipping from his fingers. Then, without thinking, he ran outside screaming into the empty street. That's when the bikers arrived. They weren't there for drama, they were lost, looking for a shortcut back to the interstate. But when Leo saw them, something primal kicked in. He sprinted toward the nearest bike, grabbing the rider's gloved hand. "Mister, please, he hurt Nana!" The biker, a broad-shouldered man named Dex, with a graying beard and eyes that had seen too much, knelt instantly. "Where is he, kid?" Leo pointed a shaking finger toward the house. Without another word, Dex stood. He turned to his brothers, Razor, Tank, Birdie, and nodded once. They parked their bikes in a line across the driveway, engines idling like growling wolves. The front door creaked open. Carl stepped out, smirking, cigarette dangling from his lips. "What the hell do you want?" Dex didn't flinch. "You laid hands on that woman in there?" Carl scoffed. "She's family. None of your business." "She's got a 6-year-old who just watched you knock her down," Dex said, voice low and steady. "That makes it our business." What followed wasn't violence, it was justice wrapped in quiet strength. The bikers didn't throw punches. Instead, they formed a human wall between Carl and the house. Dex called 911 while Birdie, the gentlest of the group despite his tattoos, knelt beside Leo and wrapped him in a spare leather vest twice his size. "You're safe now, little man," he murmured. Paramedics arrived within minutes. Carl was arrested for domestic assault and trespassing. As officers led him away in cuffs, he spat curses, but his bravado crumbled when he saw the look in Leo's eyes. Not fear anymore, but resolve. Inside, paramedics tended to Mrs. Whitmore's wrist. She insisted she was fine, but her hands still trembled. That's when Dex walked in, removed his jacket, and placed it gently over her shoulders. "Ma'am," he said, "you don't have to thank us, but if you ever need anything, anything at all, you call this number." He handed her a card with the club's logo and a handwritten phone number. Mrs. Whitmore looked up, tears welling. "Why would strangers do this for us?" Dex smiled faintly. "Because someone once did it for me. And because that boy, he's got fire in him, deserves a world that protects that fire." Over the next few weeks, the Iron Vows didn't disappear. They checked in, brought groceries, fixed the porch step that had been loose for months. On weekends, they'd park nearby just so Leo could run out and show them his drawings. One Saturday, Dex taught him how to change a tire. He said, "Every hero starts by learning how to fix what's broken." The neighborhood watched in awe. These men, once feared for their loud pipes and rough edges, had become guardians of the most vulnerable among them. Local news picked up the story, social media lit up with #BikersForGrandma, but the club stayed humble. "We ain't heroes," Razor told a reporter. We just saw a kid crying and remembered we used to be kids too." Months later, on a crisp November morning, the first day of autumn's true chill, Leo stood on his porch holding a handmade sign, "Thank you, Iron Vows." Behind him, Mrs. Whitmore waved, her wrist healed, her spirit brighter than ever. The bikers pulled up one last time before heading out on a cross-country ride. Dex dismounted and walked over. Leo handed him the sign. "I'm gonna be like you when I grow up," he whispered. Dex knelt, placing a hand on the boy's shoulder. "Nah, kid, be better than me. Be kinder, braver, and never let anyone make you afraid to speak up." As the bikes roared away, Leo stood tall, the wind tugging at his shirt. Somewhere down the road, Dex glanced in his rearview mirror and smiled. Sometimes, heroes don't wear capes. They ride in leather jackets and answer a child's cry before the echo fades. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to ACA Storytales. Real courage isn't always loud. It's often found in quiet acts of protection, in strangers who choose to care. Comment below, what would you have done if you heard a child cry, "He hit my grandma"? Stay tuned for more cinematic, heart-touching stories that restore faith in humanity, one act of unexpected kindness at a time. Thanks for watching.